Hi, my name is Becky and welcome to Countdown to Zero, where we answer 3 questions from 2 wheels, zeroing in on one hope. In this week's episode, I'm going to ask my neighbors what level of noise they prefer to hear from a motorcycle. Okay, so we're here with Linda Kraft, and Linda, we're going to take a quick survey here. Have you ever owned or ridden a motorcycle?
Does a mini bike count? Motor mini bike?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
And where did you ride this motor mini bike?
All over the farm.
Out in the fields, over the farm. Okay, so in this bike here, would you say, what's your personal preference? Do you prefer loud bikes or quiet bikes?
Loud bikes.
And why?
Because you know they're there.
There you have it. Thanks.
You bet.
Kimberly.
Yes.
Motorcycles. Have you ever ridden or owned a motorcycle?
Owned, no, but ridden, yes.
Okay. So would you say you prefer motorcycles to be loud or quiet? Louder the better, quieter the better?
Well, I have to go with loud because my husband's is loud. That's how I always know when he's coming home at night.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, thank you. Hi, Judith.
Hi.
So, have you ever ridden or owned a motorcycle?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Okay. Do you like louder bikes or do you think bikes should be quieter?
Quiet.
And why is that?
Noise pollution. Nobody wants that. Unless it's good music.
So if I'm going to answer these questions myself, I'd have to say that yes, I own and ride an electric Zero motorcycle. So it's very quiet, and it sounds kind of like one of those jet fighters on a Star Wars movie, like, that was a really good impersonation, right? But I would say that yes, I personally like riding a quiet motorcycle, and here is why. For me, it puts my mind in the right space for being a defensive rider. If I'm quiet, that means I can hear what everyone else around me is doing. And I'm more aware of my surroundings when I don't have a loud, engine or motor from my own bike, ringing in my ears. Or I don't like to listen to music in my helmet. I have done that, but I have to say I pay better attention to everything that's going on around me if I have it quiet. And so I personally like being quiet because it makes me more aware of my surroundings, and that puts the onus back on me for getting myself in a safe place. If I need, I can see where my escape routes are, and I can be more aware of what everyone else around me is doing if I myself am quiet. So I understand both mentalities. If I was loud, I'd have to depend on all the other drivers around me to be paying attention and not be distracted. And that's just not a reality. And it's definitely not a reality where I live. We have a lot of distracted drivers out there. And I myself, when I'm driving my vehicle, I know that I have the radio on loud, and I don't often hear motorcycles until, even if they're loud ones, I won't hear them until they're right up next to me. So I'm not sure that having a loud motorcycle would benefit me the most in the end. So I love my Zero motorcycle. I love that it's quiet. And I think my neighbors, most of them love that too.
So what does it mean to love your neighbor? Does it mean bring them a cup of sugar when they're in need? Does it mean you've always got your neighbor's 6 o'clock? You've got their back. Let's zero in on biblical love.
When God gave the law to his people on Mount Sinai, it was a time of rejoicing. The God of this universe wrote down his heart, his thoughts, his commandments on stone for his people to know him. And this is worth rejoicing over. And when the religious leaders of Jesus' day came to him and asked him, Master, what is the greatest commandment that God gave his people? Jesus answered, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Jesus is saying, you can sum up all of the law, all the prophets, all that was given to your people, to all of us, to know God. You can sum that up in these two commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. That's incredible. What's even more incredible is that God himself loved us with that same self-sacrificial love. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. God loved the world with the same self-sacrificial love that he calls us to love with. It's that love that denies self and desires the well-being of another person. So in loving our neighbor as we love ourselves, it's saying you already love yourself. You already take care of yourself. You do what's in your own best interest to protect yourself. I wear a helmet to protect my head because I care about my head. I wear all the protective gear all the time to protect my body should I go down because I care about my body. I want to be a good steward of my body and take care of it. I like to be watching around me and be aware of my surroundings because I want to protect myself. I want also to love others with that same kind of love that wants to protect others, that wants to see their well-being, their good health, their promotion. That's love. And sometimes love means even to the extent where I deny myself something that would help me for the sake of another benefiting. That's love. It's that self-sacrificial love that God showed us in sending his own Son, Jesus, to die for our sins on the cross and then to rise again to new life. And God calls us to that new life. This everlasting life is a life of love. It's love that we receive from God the Father through faith in Jesus Christ. And it's also the love that we show to our neighbor. This love is the foundation for my one hope. Hey, thanks for watching, and be sure to join us next week as we talk about range anxiety on an electric motorcycle. The struggle is real, and we'll share it next week. All right, so join us next week, and don't forget to like and subscribe and follow My One Hope.